And welcome back to my channel where, as of now, I am discussing all things Loki related and as far as the series goes. Today we're going to be talking about episode 3, Lamentis-1. Let's get into it. Okay, so we open up the scene where C20 and Lady Loki is sitting like at this table in this restaurant, and they're talking, like they're friends and stuff, and having some drinks and stuff. And they start talking about brain freeze because C20 got some brain freeze going on. And Lady Loki decides to tell her about the synapses in her brain.
Permeates the roof of your mouth and freezes the synapses in your brain, so your memories are literally frozen in place.
And how brain freeze affects the synapses in her brain. And she was like, I'll ask you a question right when you get brain freeze, and then we'll see if your memories are captured in time. They're talking about memories is what I'm saying. So when C20 takes a sip of her drink or whatever, she gets brain freeze and she's like, okay, go. And Lady Loki asks her, where are the timekeepers? And then all of a sudden C20 is like, what? It's like she almost snaps out of some sort of trance or something that she was in.
Ask how many people are guarding the timekeepers. Sorry, what?
And after that happens, they like switch from daytime to nighttime. It looks like the same bar and everything, but C20 starts to remember stuff. She starts saying, hey, I know this place, but I don't know you. And Sylvie basically is trying to calm her down. I guess trying to keep her under an enchantment, because when you zoom out, you see Lady Loki just with her fingers like standing there still, like, I don't know where they are. It looks like they're in like that Rocks Cart place where they found her or something. Yeah, it looks like they're in the Rocks Cart place where they found Lady Loki. She's just basically like asking her where the timekeepers are, how to get to the gold elevators. Apparently, when C20 says she told him, she gave it away. She really did. But it wasn't free of her own will. Maybe it was free of her own will because she's starting to get her memories back. Maybe she's like, fuck this. So Lady Loki ends up going to the TVA, and when they like went through that door, that's where her and Loki went. They end up in the TVA. Loki retrieves his knife, but not before Lady Loki came in and just started kicking ass.
Hey, stop.
Kicking ass. And just a couple moments later, that's when Loki came through. He ended up getting his knives, and he's out here with the knives, okay? He's actually trying to talk to Sylvie, but it's Loki versus Loki at this point because she is not hearing what he's saying. She's not trusting him, which, how could you? So she basically, they're fighting, and he's telling her, like, I need you. Because basically, you're my way. You are my way. She said, you're in my way. He said, you are my way. And he was hoping that we could work together. But she lacks vision. Ravonna shows up. When Ravonna shows up, she got the, 2 agents with her, and she's got pruning sticks. So, of course, they're about to try to capture them. And right before that, Loki uses a Tempad to escape. When he escapes, they land into this area. I have no idea where they are, honestly. At first, I had no idea. Until it showed that they were on Lamentis. So they're on this, they're on Lamentis-1. It's a moon. They're on a moon called Lamentis-1.
You idiot! This is Lamentis-1!
I don't know what that means.
The moon that planet is about to crash into and destroy!
So they get up, and Lady Loki tries to use the Tempad, and it's dead. In like the heat of the moment, Loki takes it because he feels like he needs leverage. And when he's walking and he's talking to Lady Loki, he tells her, he calls her Loki, and it's funny. And she doesn't like to be called Loki. So he calls her Variant again. And she's like, my name is Sylvie. So, name reveal, that's Sylvie. Lamentis-1, which is a moon where a planet is actually about to crash into it. Like, it's coming down. It's like dead. It's an apocalypse. The things are like, it's meteors and everything just coming down trying to smash this moon. And they decide to work together to try to get off. Because, I mean, how else are they going to be able to? And I honestly feel like Loki likes Lady Loki. I feel like he has like some sort of connection to her. I don't know if it's because he just loves himself so much that that now he's in love with actual form of himself. It's weird. Anyway, so Loki tries to enchant him, and it doesn't. I mean, Sylvie tries to enchant Loki at one point in this show, and it like didn't work. And I don't know why it didn't work. It just made me feel weird. But I think that's the moment that I found out that he liked her, because when she put her hands on him, he was all in. I don't know what he was all in for. But he was in there. Okay. Then they talk about what they need to charge the Tempad, which is a massive power source. They start walking and trying to figure out what's happening. Sylvie's pissed this whole time though, and she actually confronts Loki about working for the TVA. Like, how could you work for the TVA? And why would you why would you work for somebody that came and kidnapped you? So they come to a house. It's like a little house, look like it's in the middle of nowhere. Kind of reminds me of Courage the Cowardly Dog. So they get to the house, and all of a sudden Lady Loki goes up and she just tries to kick the door in. But when she kicks the door in, she gets blasted all the way back by some old lady that's in there. I don't want to say old, but she was older. And Loki, he comes up and he tries, a diplomatic approach. And he comes in and he like talking, but lady is really not opening up. So he decides to look in her window and become her husband. Use his illusion projection to become her husband. And he's talking to her like he's so sweet. And then he gets blasted too. And she says her husband has never been that nice to her. They ask the lady, they're like, the lady calls them devils. What do you devils want with me? And they say, we just want to ask you a question. I don't know why they were so aggressive in the beginning, if they were just asking questions, but that's what happens. So they ask where everyone is, and the lady tells them that everyone is on the Ark. Now, she said you'll never get a ticket, basically. Like, you'll never get a ticket to the Ark. The Ark is basically the same thing as the Ark from the Bible. Is to save everybody from the mass destruction, the apocalypse, the end of the world. So they decide that they are going to use the Ark as a power source, because they both know that the Ark never makes it off the planet. Well, not they both know. Sylvie knows, because she's been, like she said, she's lived in a million different ends of the world. Like, she has always lived in an apocalypse ever since she was a little girl. Loki disguises himself as a guard and makes it look like Sylvie is like a prisoner or someone. And he goes on, and of course they're not buying it. Sylvie enchants the guard and they get through. And they end up sitting in this room with the bar and stuff like that. Loki talks about Frigga because he asked about Sylvie's magic, and she says she taught herself. And they talk about their parents. Sylvie knew she was adopted, unlike Loki. Sylvie never knew her parents pretty much at all. Yeah, she doesn't remember her mother. And she says something too that made me think about Thor, the Thor movies. She says that they were never meant to exist. Like, that's something that she says. But, and then if we go back to what Odin says to Loki in Thor, that he was destined to die. That was his destiny. Because apparently, I don't know. It just makes me think. Odin said that Loki was meant to die. And was it the same for Sylvie? Like, was she not following her correct path? And that's why they had to hurry up and come and get her. And maybe Odin kind of kept Loki like kind of shielded, or maybe Frigga and her magic or something, I don't really know, kind of kept Loki cloaked until he started to cause actual damage in the timeline, I guess. I'm not sure. All I know is that I feel like maybe Loki was actually meant to die on Jotunheim when the battle took place between Odin and Loki. Oh goodness, talk about that. They talk about loves. Of course he asked her if she has anybody, because I think he's feeling her. But in that we find out that Loki is bisexual, or whatever they want to like portray it as in this show, which most of us already knew. If you know any of the stories, you know that he like, it's not even bisexual. I don't even know what to call it, so I'm not going to say anything because I don't want it to be offensive. They talk about her and a mailman that she liked, but she said that it was just something to keep her occupied. She had a mailman that she would visit throughout time. She says people are desperate at the end of the world, basically, which means that she probably met this man in an apocalypse, and like he fell in love with her and she fell in love with him, because that's just what it was. And they talk about what love is, and Sylvie says to Loki, love is mischief, like love is mischief to you. And Loki says no. That makes me think that Loki doesn't want to be mischievous. It's just in his nature, like he just has to be, you know. And maybe that was the thing with Sylvie. Maybe she was supposed to be, but she was really, really fighting it and not being the mischievous person that she was supposed to be either. So Sylvie falls asleep to get some rest, and Loki gets full. Okay, real full. He's singing and everything. Tom Hiddleston is very talented, okay? He's a talent all in his own. He's singing and everything. Sylvie wakes up, and Sylvie spots a guard doing something weird. The guards show up and ask them for their tickets, and they don't have one. And now it's a brawl. Loki and the guard starts fighting, and Sylvie and the guard starts fighting. They get thrown out. Well, Loki gets thrown out of the ark. And once Loki gets thrown out of the ark, Sylvie remembers that he has a time pad. So she hops out too. And when she hops out, they get out, and she's asking him for the time pad. He's beating around the bush. He pulls it out. The time pad is broken. Okay. The time pad is broken. So she's pissed. And she's like, Loki is not you're not a serious man. And he's like, I'm not a man, I'm a god. I don't think Loki is serious either. I don't think he's ever really been really serious. Like, not really. To me, no. So, it seems like to me too that Sylvie has like a real goals, real dreams, real plans. Like, she really wants to do and be something because she's never been able to. And it seems like to me, maybe even when she was a kid, like when they came and got her, she was playing with those toys. To me, she was talking about being a Valkyrie, I believe. And maybe like her having ambitions and dreams more than what, I don't know. All I know is that these are two different beings, two different Lokis. They are not supposed to make it off the moon. Okay, like I said before, the ark is not supposed to make it off the moon. So what they do is they decide that they're going to get on the ark and they're going to try to make it off the moon. I don't know where it's going to go, but they try. So they get into the city. And for some reason, like, the guards is, like, fighting them. Like, it's a whole brawl. And I don't understand why, because the world is ending and they're not even doing anything. I don't really get it. But they're brawling, and they're getting all the way up to the thing. All the way up to the ark. But as soon as they get close enough to the ark, it explodes. Like, it's over. The ark is destroyed. And everybody just stopped fighting. And Loki just stands there. And Sylvie just walks away because she is pissed. I would be too. Oh, here's something that I did not bring up. And I forgot about it. So she finally tells Loki that she reveals to Loki that the TVA agents are all variants, which is something I already suspected anyway, but they're all variants, and they all had a life before they were kidnapped by the timeline, And I don't know what the deal is with Renslayer, but something tells me that she got something up her sleeve. Don't trust her. All in all, though, I feel like this was a super good episode. I actually cannot wait till the season finale. I'm telling you, I just cannot wait at all. I already watched the next episode, y'all. So my reviews are going to be coming back to back. So I'm going to be recording this one. I'll probably just record the other one right afterwards. But all I know is that they are probably about to, I don't know, maybe the TVA will show up and save them. But I don't think that the TVA can, because they can't. The TVA won't know where they are unless a Nexus event happens. And since they're in an apocalypse, there's not going to be a Nexus event. I don't know. Okay, so that's just my review on this episode. I'm probably going to rewatch episode 4 just to be sure what's happening. All right, until next time, peace.